We are in front of a synagogue. It's also low-key Chinatown here.
Yeah, we did not think it would be so nestled inside the heart of Chinatown, but
Still the Lower East Side.
Now we know. It is one of the 2 synagogues in New York to be classified as a National Historic Landmark, and it still hosts a wide number of Orthodox Jews to this day.
It was erected in 1887 by some Jewish guys who needed a synagogue down here, and it's turned into a fabulous landmark. It was since renovated to more preserve the history of Jewish immigrants down here rather than just serve as a synagogue, but it still does hold daily services. So we're hoping to kind of more leave Chinatown and go to the neighborhood we're actually supposed to be in for the next one. So it's raining, it's about to be dark, but like we're here, we're gonna go visit some historical sites, hopefully learn a little bit more about the culture along the way.
We're making such good use of our Saturday.
Such good use of our Saturday. Alright, change of plans, we're actually going to see some burning trash.
That was unexpected, but okay. Let's go.
Hopefully it'll work out. Yo, for one rep. Here are the remains of the burning stuff.
Oh gosh.
Looks pretty burnt. We'll show you a picture of what they look like before. Hint me, future video editing.
Shout out to Ronnie, guys.
And we're officially in the Lower East Side.
We did not plan to go to a Kaddish place, actually, but we found this place and we were intrigued, so we decided to take a step in, and this is a potato latte, which I'm going to try for the first time in my life. So let's see how it goes. This potato latte is just amazing. I mean, it's my first time trying it, and it's so fulfilling. I mean, other than the fact that I haven't eaten in a few hours, I mean, it's really an amazing taste. It really has an amazing taste, and I'd give it 5 out of 5 stars. No New York politician in the last 50 years has been elected to office without having at least one photograph showing him on the Lower East Side with a Knish in his face. Ron Howard, Larry David, Jackie Mason. Okay. Those baked goods look amazing.
It's kind of getting dark and a little rainy,
So,
but it's all good.
I mean, yeah, we only have a few more blocks until we get to our next destination. Let's hope the sun doesn't go down on us, but I mean, other than that, we're good.
The oldest deli in New York, baby. We're finally in 5 Points. It's a neighborhood that in the early 19th century was notorious for being a hotspot for all kinds of crime, child mortality, and things were so bad that at one point it was said that in certain buildings the murder rate was as high as 1 person per night.
Fun fact, this place used to be one of the first places for newly emancipated Black African Americans to come from the South. This is one of their ethnic enclaves, and so this place is also an ethnic enclave for Irish Americans who decided to come here for poverty, most notably because of the potato famine. And Yeah, so there were a lot of tensions between Irish immigrants and African American newly freedmen, but I mean that resulted in African Americans moving over to the west side of Manhattan.
But it's all changed. Basically everything has been torn down, all the tenements, all the slums, they're gone, and in its place has blossomed a really awesome new neighborhood.
So we gotta go down to Broome Street and then take a left, and that way we get to the Pickle Guys. No idea what this means right now. Let's find out.
Alright, we just left the Tenement Museum. It's pretty freaking late all of a sudden. We gotta go to the restaurant, Pickle Guys, maybe eat some pickles, and then we'll check out a synagogue. And then this will finally be over.
Time flies, guys.
Closing up. They're closing. We finally made it to Essex Street, and we are in front of the Pickle Guys, the last remaining pickle shop serving Jewish authentic pickles on Essex Street, following in a tradition of Essex Street really awesome pickle shops.
Yep, they are carrying on this tradition, and they are no amateurs to it, as they have a 4.5 star rating on Yelp. So I mean, this place is no joke, guys.
If you're on our walking tour map, you're gonna eat some lit pickles. We are finally about to reach our final stop.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. We are at St. Mary's Church, which is across the street. It's Catholic.
All right, we are in front of the Bialystoker Synagogue on the Lower East Side. I promise we are legitimately in the Lower East Side right now. This was originally erected in 1826 as a Methodist church, and for a little while during the period of slavery, it actually served as an underground railroad stop. And we read that hundreds of slaves on their way to freedom ended up stopping here.
A little bit over a century ago in 1905, Jewish immigrants came here and converted this church, which was a little rundown at the time, into a synagogue, and they brought over a 3-story ark from Italy, and they used it as part of its structure.
So they didn't have enough money to actually build their own synagogue, so they just repurposed an old rundown Methodist church into a actually legitimately beautiful synagogue.
Yeah.
We can't quite go in as there is a service going on, but let's take you part way. Bialystoker. Lower East Side was a place of bustling immigration in the 19th century, and some of that is even still reflected today.
Although really, many of the initial places that we visited were sort of a little bit overshadowed by the ever-growing neighborhood of Chinatown. It all sort of shows how different, I guess, the dynamic of different immigrant groups are changing, even to this day. We can't say that the immigrant experience has, been static, but we tried our best to follow around at least the Jewish immigrant experience, and we learned a lot from it.
Peace.
Peace.
bloopers.
Eastern European Jewish enclave, which many people flock to. 2.5 million immigrants a year would come over to New York to. No, that is not true. That is not true. 2.5 million immigrants a year.
That goes in the bloopers right there, folks.
Yeah.
Where are we going next?
I was gonna say I still haven't showed my parents my report yet, but we are going to the not 5 points, to Katz Delicatessen.
Katz Deli, one of the best delis
Definitely
around.
A cultural landmark. Oh my gosh.
And Yona Schimmel is the oldest family-owned conditionery in the entire city. And we are right here with Dennis eating a latke.
Use a rear camera. Just so.
Now I'm just following Dennis, but apparently we're about to come up on our.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Find it.
We are not. Breaking news. We are not. This is actually. I don't know what this is. This is St. Mary's Church. Wrong.
Henry Street. It's Henry Street. Guys, I found my new home. So, Mr. Matz. So, Mr. Matz, in conclusion, the Lower East Side deserves an A, and we do too.
Irish immigrants who are Catholic came here without having the means to build churches. I mean, well, that was.
So they repurposed St. Mary's. Bye.